everyone, my name is Allison Little, and today I will be presenting my capstone presentation. The title is Predictors and Changes with Marital Satisfaction Among Adopted Parents. The purpose of the research. The adoption process can be fraught with many stressors and unique marital satisfaction challenges among adopted parents. This study expands upon possible predictors that can contribute or negatively impact adopted parents' marriage. The purpose is to identify possible predictors within the adopted parents' marriage, like the age of the adopted child, their culture, whether it was an international or domestic adoption, and if the child has a disability. For my literature review, I decided to focus on three sections, which is population, marital satisfaction, and the predictors. For the population, there is approximately 2 million adopted parents in the United States. For marital satisfaction, even though adoption is very researched and published, marital satisfaction rates of adopted parents can be poorly represented. Ward does share that in the 90s, they start examining different predictor variables that might play a role in marital satisfaction. For my predictors, I decided to focus on the age of the adopted child, their culture, whether it was an international or domestic adoption, and then if they had special needs or a disability. For my research question, the design is a quantitative exploratory with a Likert scale survey design. My hypothesis is the predictor variables, age of the adopted child, culture, international or domestic adoption, and whether the adoptee has a disability will be significantly related to the level of marital satisfaction among adopted parents. My null hypothesis is the exact same thing, except it says will not be significantly related to the level of marital satisfaction among adopted parents. For my methods, I wanted to use the Couple Satisfaction Index survey to assess marital satisfaction among adopted parents. This is a 32-question Likert scale survey that I added 4 additional questions to relating to my predictor variables. For example, the first one is age. So my question was, what is the age of your adopted child? And so on and so forth. For my data analysis, I use a linear regression analysis to identify which predictor variables were related to the adopted parents' marital satisfaction. And then I went ahead and did a dependent sample t-test to identify a relationship between the adoptees with and without disability and the adopted parents' marital satisfaction. For my findings, these are my findings right here written out, but I thought I'd go ahead and show you on the graph. As you can see, I have 8 participants, the highest scoring a 195 and the lowest scoring a 32. The highest you can get on the Couple Satisfaction Index survey is a 161. So you get a 161, you are completely satisfied in your marriage. The mean is 125, which means that 78% of participants that took this survey are satisfied in their marriage. For this graph, it is the independent sample t-test graph, which, as you can see on the side, it says adoptees with or without a disability. So for the top one, this is adopted parents with children without a disability, and they all score extremely high in marital satisfaction. If we go down to the bottom, you can see that adopted parents with a child with a disability, 15% of them score significantly low in marital satisfaction. For my predictors, unfortunately, I only had 8 participants, which did not produce a significant correlation between the adopted parents' marital satisfaction and then my predictors. So when it comes to limitation, the very first one is the sample size. Unfortunately, I did not have a big enough sample size, which made me run into quite a few problems. Also, the participants were recruited through a convenience and snowball sampling, which has a higher likelihood that these participants share the same experiences and are in the same community circle. Another one that I ran into is that I didn't know if the participants were taking the survey by themselves, even though in the emails and in the survey it says to take it on your own. If you take it with your partner, that can have some influences on your answers. For further research, this research suggests that there should be resources and services provided among adopted parents pre and post adoption. Further research could be used regarding the unexpected relationship between adopting a child with special needs and its effect on adopted parents' marital satisfaction. In further research, it would be advised that you ensure a larger sample size so that you can represent those predicting variables properly. For my conclusion, although there was no significant data to support the correlation between the adopted parents' marital satisfaction and my predictors, the null hypothesis was answered. It also is refreshing to note that the 78% of adopted parents are satisfied in their marriage. Adoption is a lifelong journey. Both the adoptee has to experience and the adopted parents have to experience. So it is essential that we continue this research on how adoption affects adopted parents and their marriage. Thank you so much for listening to my capstone presentation. I look forward to answering your questions.